All right, everybody, this is the Game of Fortune. We are going to get into the game. So let's go. So, how are preparations looking? Okay, so we're not going to have that loud ass auto text speed. Um, okay, perfect. All the participants are on their way. Everything should be set in stone and ready to go. And you're certain that all the participants are trustworthy? You need to relax. How many background checks have we done now? At this point, we could probably guess what everyone had for breakfast this morning. We've been betrayed before, so I don't want to take any chances. Well, that's on you for picking people with shaky resolve. Shaky resolve after you threatened them? Allegedly threatened them? I already told you I didn't have a hand in it. Alright, that's enough. I don't want to deal with any more bickering or squabbling. We've done everything we can. It's all out of our hands now. I want no spectacles, no outbursts, and absolutely no repeats of what happened last time. Is that understood? Yeah. You blow up one more time and no one lets you forget about it. Well, we had a lot of work to do to cover up what you did. What did I just say about bickering? Sorry. Anyways, I'm gonna close my eyes and rest easy. After all, we got a long day ahead of us. How was she able to sleep like that? Hey, Devin, wake up. Hmm? Are we there yet? I think we're close. The driver hasn't spoken a word since we left. But they said that we're on a strict schedule, right? More importantly, how are you sleeping at a time like this? What? It's early in the morning. We left at midnight and I figured that it'd be a perfect time to get some sleep. I don't need to ruin my sleeping schedule to stay up until 4 a.m. when I could be catching some Z's right now. True. Don't tell me you've been awake this whole time. You're gonna be a zombie by the time we get to wherever it is we're trying to get to. I wouldn't have had to stay up all morning if you had been awake too. Hey, this was your idea, wasn't it? I don't know why you're freaking out. I just feel like something's not right. Well, it's probably too late to do anything about it. But if you want to talk it out, maybe that'll make you feel better. I wish I could be as calm and collected as you, Devin. It's an acquired skill that I've honed with practice. I said honored, y'all. I was gonna say honored. My head is starting to ache, so let's just try and run through the basics. Sounds good to me. All right, what do we want to say? Let's ask where are we going. So where are we going in? Good question, but I haven't got a clue really. You don't have any idea where we're going? Why are you asking me like I know any better? Let's see. Well, I remember the shady guy said that he was going to take us somewhere. He didn't say where it was. For all we know, it could be a football stadium or a casino or a graveyard. Could even be a boat. It'll be a fun surprise for sure. That's not as reassuring as you're making it out to be. Well, I'm just trying to make the most out of an uncertain situation. Besides, it's not like we've been kidnapped or anything. We chose to go, and we've given plenty of opportunities to back out. I know, why is this place so far away? No idea, but they did tell us that it was going to be a long drive until we got there. All I know is that the location is called the Clover Gate. I tried looking up a place near here in the same name, but I didn't see anything. Must be one of those insider terms. Maybe it'll just be a big meadow full of clovers. Doubtful, but I'd honestly rather take that than some other options you listed. We'll find out when we get there. Until then, no point in fretting about what it might end up being. Yeah, I guess you're right. How did we end up here? Oh man, you must really be having some bad sleep deprivation if you can't remember all that. Still, I can give you a little spark to get you to remember. Your mom got really sick and all the doctors said that they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her, so you started getting very worried. You got desperate and started looking for any treatment center that would help out. And then you said you came across some group called the Digits of Eden or something like that? Yeah, it's all clicking in my head right now. They said they could cure for any ailment. You know, advertisements like that are usually scams, right? Like 99.9% of the time. I know that, but I checked a bunch of reviews and all the comments were positive and all the information seemed legitimate. Still sounds like a scam to me. Maybe they got some reviewers to blow up the ratings. It happens all the time online. I mean, it is suspicious that despite having such good reviews, you had to scour the dark web to find a single mention of them. It was sketchy, but I had to give them a chance. I was at the end of my rope. That's what you told me, and then you entered into some kind of raffle to win a trip of one of their treatment centers. As a fate would have it, you won. And now we're driving to that treatment center, though they never really gave a location or description as to what it looks like. Right. Fast forward to today, and now we're on our way over there. If this really is a scam, it's a really dedicated one. You know, isn't that weird how they're taking you to a treatment center and not your mom? They said it was imperative that I was the one who showed up if I wanted to help my mother. Sounds suspicious to me. All this, maybe they're gonna hold us here hostage for ransom? Don't say that. Chill out, it's probably not like that. Like 99.9% sure that it's not that. I mean, if it were, they sure as heck chose the wrong people to try to get ransom out of. We both know we're not exactly loaded or related to any rich folks. Unless you've been holding out on me for years. Is that it, Clyde? Have you been skimping out on sharing your royalty money with me? Devin, do you know how ridiculous you sound? Of course not. I don't have any gold bars hidden anywhere. Then it's probably not ransom, and you should rest when you can. If only, Devin, if only. How are you feeling? So, how are you feeling, Devin? Sleepy but slightly refreshed. If I get a few more hours, I think I'll be ready to go. That's not what I mean, Devin. I mean, like, are you okay with all of this? With coming along with me? Well, I'd prefer not to spend my Sunday getting into a mysterious truck and driving 4 hours somewhere, but it's definitely not the worst thing around, and you said this thing needs a partner, right? That's what I was told. Well, it was a no-brainer then. I'm not gonna leave you hanging if your mom's treatment is on the line. Besides, it might be fun. I just didn't want you to feel like you were pressured into this or anything. Oh, please, Clyde. You're the one of the least influential people that I know. Is that supposed to be a compliment? Not really, but it sounded better in my head. Gee, thanks. Besides, a dishwasher and a line cooker for a pizzeria are the perfect dynamic duo for some kind of road trip, aren't they? Imagine what kind of shenanigans we'll get into. Ideally, none. You've got no sense of adventure. Don't you get tired of washing dishes all day? This might be a real fun break. The kind of stuff you can write a book about. Or a spot on the obituary page on the local newspaper. At least someone will read it. Boundless optimism. So I guess it's better than one of us going into this with a good attitude at least. Just as we finish speaking, the truck comes to a sudden stop and the driver craned his neck to look over at us. We're here. Oh man, I didn't get to finish my nap. You'll get a chance to sleep on the ride back. I guess, but I'm still feeling drowsy. Walking around will wake us up a little bit, right? I'd say so, but it's not like we've got any other choice. The doors to the truck opened and Devin and I hopped out. Looking around, it appeared that we were standing in a large field of clovers. In truth, it's a rather pleasant place, illuminated by soft torchlight. But what's concerning is the large crowd in the distance. I couldn't see them clearly through the darkness, but there were a whole lot of them, more than I could count. You know, for a place called the Clover Gate, there's a lot of clovers and not a lot of gates. Aren't you more concerned that this place doesn't look anything like a treatment center? Not even like a facility to get drugs or something? Maybe the clovers are magical and their powers only work during the full moon. You don't actually believe in that garbage, do you? Well, I mean, you never know until you try. By all means, stuff your face full of grass. I'll be waiting to see the effects. Don't tempt me. You know I'll do it. But hey, there's a ton of people over there in the back. Can you see them? Barely. They're practically silhouettes. I can't really make out anything about them. Spooky. But we haven't been gagged or cuffed yet, so we're probably still safe. Stop trying to scare me when I'm already on edge. Then take a nap. The clover field here looks really comfy. I'm not taking a nap in the middle of nowhere when we're surrounded by who knows what. You're lost then. The clovers look super soft. Devin turned over to the driver, who leaned against his car. Hey bud, you sure you got this right place? And didn't drive us somewhere over to some campsite? This doesn't seem like a... Where did you say we were going? A treatment center. Yeah, what he said. Just wait. Shouldn't be long. Well, that's not ominous whatsoever. I tried. Clyde, looks like we're just gonna have to wait. You gave up pretty easily. Well, what's a girl supposed to do? Interrogate him? He said to wait, so we might as well wait. I suppose so. I kinda wish we had coverage here though. Yeah, we are in the middle of nowhere, aren't we? Yeah, but I guess we gotta just wait. Though we didn't have to wait long, we ended up meeting with a bunch of other people who didn't seem to be part of a larger crowd. There were a few pleasant chats, and some not so pleasant ones. But as time passed, we were to gather together for some kind of meeting. I watched eagerly as the four of them began to walk towards the center of the field as an entourage followed close behind bearing a variety of equipment. Each of them wore an eerie mask, like something of the Greek comedy. Though, with a brief glance, I could see that the masks were numbered 1 through 4, and each had a design color gold, blue, white, and green, respectively. A small crew began setting up torches while others started erecting a small stage with microphones and speakers. I would have been impressed at how quickly they set everything up if it didn't look like they were preparing some kind of odd ritual. Hey, if they start asking for human sacrifices, I think we should run into the woods to escape. Tempting, really tempting, Devin. If not for the fact that there's at least a few dozen people surrounding this place, we would probably take them. Or at least like 2 of them. I don't think we could make it very far. Shh, I'm trying to listen to what they're saying. I wanted to snap back at the guy, but my curiosity got the better of me. As all the new arrivals were herded to the area near the stage, I found myself eager to hear what these masked individuals had to say. Soon enough, the person in the gold mask brought a microphone up to his face. Good morning. It's wonderful to see you all here on this fine day, the 4th anniversary of the Digits of Eden's founding. Some of you may know me as one of the founders of the Digits of Eden, others may simply know me as the first, and some of you may not know me at all. Right here, right now, what matters is not me, but it's you. Before me stand 16 participants, 16 individuals, 16 chosen ones, who shall forge their own destiny in a game set to shape the lives and deaths of others. Lives and deaths? There's a pause as the gold masked man seems to look us over for a moment. Some of you I recognize and others are newcomers. A few of you are here today because you have performed your duties for the Digits of Eden and are now allowed to participate in one of our most sacred blessings. Others may have been referred to this place by some of our members in good standing, a gift that we would hope you'll one day repay us for when the time calls. Another still may be here simply because of fate, a design of beings we cannot comprehend. Nevertheless, we accept your presence here for the most holy and mystical of events. Regardless of your origins, you have found yourself here for one reason or another. And we hope that you shall enjoy the game of fortune with all your body and soul. The game of fortune? What the heck is that? No one ever mentioned some game of fortune. I shall not pass on instructional duties to the second. Please pay proper attention, for all of you will be instructed on our new logistical procedures regardless of whether you are familiar or unfamiliar with the game of fortune. The gold masked man stepped back and the blue masked woman moved forward. At 4:40 a.m. exactly, this clover field will shine bright with a blue door will appear. It's only big enough for 2 people to enter at a time. Each of you have been assigned a partner or has been instructed to bring a partner with you. You must hold hands as you walk through the light, or you shall not be able to pass through the Divine Realm. The Divine Realm has strict rules, one being that exactly 16 participants must enter through the Clover Gate within 4 minutes. As such, we shall carefully but swiftly usher each of you into the gate once it has opened. There will be no need to push, shove, run, or fight, as there is no benefit nor penalty associated with the order in which you enter. You shall also be patted down for weapons and other illegal items before entering the Clover Gate. The Divine Being does not like such things being brought into her realm, and issues punishments for those that attempt to sneak them in. Additionally, while you may bring electronic devices with you, their functionality will be extremely limited. However, the Divine Ruler has never disallowed them, and thus, if you wish, you may bring them along. Finally, as a general piece of information, all clothes, accessories, and items on your person will carry over with you into the Divine Realm. As long as they are not weapons, the Divine Ruler shall permit you to bring them along, and you need to have no fear of losing them. After all of our explanations are complete, you shall be given a brief moment to ask questions, as well as retrieve any items you may have left in the trucks that transported you here. Afterwards, we shall separate you into pairs and prepare for Clover Gate to appear. With that said, the third shall now go over our approved guidelines. The woman with the blue mask stepped back while the white masked man stepped forward. As per our tradition as the digits of Eden, you shall have complete freedom to play the game however you see fit, so as long as it pleases the divine ruler of the realm. However, we do have some customary rules, which we shall go over for the both new and returning participants. The first is that none shall bring any permanent harm to any member of the Digits of Eden without prior consent of all 4 leading members. You know who you are if you have such permission. Ignorance will not be tolerated as a proper defense. If you are found to have permanently injured, killed, or removed mystically divinity from the Digits of Eden members, you will be punished accordingly. For those of you who do not know the Digits of Eden, this simply means that you are not to make any wishes that we would likely not approve of. Use common sense if you have to. Moving on. Some of you have been given tasks. You are to obey those tasks to the dot. If you return with your task unfulfilled without sufficient reason, you shall be punished in accordance with our laws immediately. So, don't try and weasel your way out of the jobs. Do whatever you can to ensure that our will is done. Aside from that, you're free to wish whatever it is that the divine ruler allows. The fourth will now finish us off with the hymn of the fourth divine. The white masked man stepped back, and the green masked man approached his microphone. For those unfamiliar with the hymn, simply hum along. He cleared his throat before bringing his arms up. I couldn't be bothered to actually listen in. This was a ridiculous ceremony after all. The crowd, on the other hand, while modest in size, they seemed to grow louder and louder with each verse, forming a zealous chorus that made me want to shrink down to the size of an ant and skitter away. Hey dude, I'm seriously getting some bad cult vibes here. Oh, what gave you that idea? Was it the torches or the weird song people are raving about? Hush, she's almost done. That concludes our ceremony for the Game of Fortune. We have roughly 10 minutes left before we shall make the final preparations. Are there any questions that you would like to have answered? Are there any questions? I have so many that I can't choose what to ask first. Who is the fourth divine? What are the Digits of Eden about? What is the Game of Fortune? I was ready to raise my hand to get one of my questions answered, just one so I can wrap my head around any of this, but before I could even have a chance, a man's hand immediately shot up. Yes, was any of this necessary? There's a moment of silence before the green masked man composed himself. Of course. Do you think otherwise? Well, if the gate is going to be open at exactly 4:44 a.m., why do we need any other chanting bullcrap stuff? Tradition mostly. We never ask that you participate, but that you respectfully listen. You're free to go on your merry way after all this is done. It just seems a little odd to me. Who made you able to choose who could participate in this game? Shouldn't it just be first come, first serve? Why all the showmanship and ceremonies when all we had to do was walk through a gate? Another palpable silence. I couldn't tell if he's trying to incite something or if he's genuinely curious as to why we all had to do this. Eventually, the white masked man spoke up, taking control of the situation before things got even more awkward. Simple. We do it for the sake of order. Don't be mistaken. The fourth divine did not lay out the rules on who could or couldn't participate. Well, not completely anyway. But can you imagine a free-for-all of people trying to drag themselves through the gate? Such madness would not doubt rub her the wrong way. And thus we decided that it would be the best to simply take control and choose who would participate based on our own internal factors and decision makings. Is that a satisfying answer for you? Well, not really, but it answers the question, I guess. I've got a question. How are you going to be able to tell us who's acting against the interests of the Digits of Eden? Have you got some kind of spy on the inside or something? Some way of chatting with people in the realm of the divine or whatever? We have ways of cross-checking people's actions through the realm of the divine. Though you shouldn't have to worry about that if you're not going to do anything against us. I just don't want to get blamed if someone else does something stupid. But if you got a way to ensure that we'll be fine, then do whatever you need to do. You have no reason to fear. Any other questions? We aren't going to be in any real danger, are we? Another brief moment of silence. The 4 masked leaders looked up to one another before the one in the gold mask stepped back up to the microphone. No, absolutely not. No one that has ever participated in the Game of Fortune has been killed or injured. The game may be mentally taxing and may exhaust one's spirit, but the body always returns whole, and if that is able to alleviate your understandable fears. If there's one thing I can tell you, it's that we don't let any harm come to you, so as long as you don't bring any harm to us. His answer was so sincere, so honest, that despite everything else going on, despite how unsettling this all was, I didn't get the feeling that he was lying. It was enough to melt away any of my other fears for a moment, like I had shed my skin and would now be ready to be brave whatever it was that would be thrown at me. Maybe that's foolish, or maybe it's just my body trying to force myself not to go into panic mode. Whatever it was welcomed. If that's all, you have about 5 minutes to gather any items you wish to take with you. You'll then be patted down before being escorted to the right location for the Clover Gate. This is all. May you have fortune with fortune. You doing alright, Clyde? Well, this is probably as good as I'm gonna get here. If they're being honest about how we're not actually going to be in any serious kind of danger, then I suppose we've got no choice but to believe them. So there's some relief there, I guess. Well, there's always the running option if you want to take your chances with that. They've got trucks and probably a crowd of guards on standby. True, but I'd rather take those odds than something else if we get thrown onto some kind of ritualistic altar. They said that there'd be some kind of door, though, right? Yeah, let's hope that it's a physical door, not some metaphorical thing that requires us to give up our souls or some spiritual bullshit like that. Yeah, it would be bad if we lost our souls. If we survive this whole thing, you're going to owe me big time. That's fair. This has been a whole lot. On the bright side, it'll be a nice story to tell other people. This time, I was deep into some weird cult that'll turn heads for sure. And there was the boundless optimism again. Even when things were tense, she couldn't help but look for the silver lining. But I guess that was for the best, right? One of us needed to stay positive and the other one had to remain skeptical. So you got everything you wanted? Didn't bring much, just my phone and wallet. What about your bag? You got anything in there? Some snacks, but that's about it. You? Nothing. Didn't think I'd need to bring anything other than my phone with me. I guess that means I don't need to worry about bringing anything illegal with me, right? Probably not. I'm more curious to see about some other people, though. Some of them definitely went back to their trucks to either pick stuff up or drop stuff off. Guess the Fourth Divine doesn't appreciate it when people are packing heat, huh? For all of our sake, let's hope none of them are. As our conversation continued, we and the other participants were organized into pairs. They gave us a pat down, then checked our belongings to make sure none of us were carrying weapons. After that, Devin and I escorted our out towards the center of the field with the other pairs lined up 2 by 2. Everyone was holding hands as instructed, which made things more than a little awkward, but not for the reasons that you would expect. Clyde, your hand is all sweaty, and yours isn't? Out of the two of us, who do you think is more nervous? Don't use that kind of logic against me. I'm just saying, maybe you should invest in some anti-perspirant cream. I can't say that word. For your hands. I don't want to have to wipe my hands over my clothes just to get them dry. You think I want to be this nervous right now? No, but I'm the one stuck to your hand. Sheesh. How much longer do we have to wait? Didn't they say this gate thing was going to open at 4:40 a.m. or something? Pretty sure that's right. Why can't it be 4:44 p.m.? I skipped that, my bad. I'm not the one who leads this weird Digits of Eden thing. Why don't you ask them? Because I don't feel like raising my hand during the question portion of the little seminar, and it seemed like a stupid question. Well, your loss. I doubt they'll be answering anything now. The least they could have done is given us a pamphlet. Soon the crowd became restless, counting down the final seconds until the designated time. Looks like it's almost time. Oh boy, I'm so excited. We anxiously watched and waited as the count lowered. The air started to feel warmer, and a soft wind swept across the clover field. Faint blue sparkles of light appeared, floating in the air like fireflies. Slowly they began collecting in the center of the field, forming a faint white and blue globe of light that shifted in the shape and form. At the same time, the countdown became more and more fervent, and cheers and chants continued to mix in the countdown, grew closer and closer to 0. The blob of light molded itself into a door frame with a pale blue light shining out from the front, and the light's intensity grew and grew similar to the volume of the crowd as they reached the climax of their chant, until finally the countdown reached 0. Before I could comprehend what was truly going on, I watched as the first pair walked through the door hand in hand. The light swallowed them, leaving nothing behind, and then the next pair went, and then the next, and then the next. Holy shit, is this real? I couldn't answer Devin. As we were up next to enter the gate, there's only one way to find out. Shit, man. If I actually die from this, I'm gonna kick your ass. I ignored her nonsensical statement as I hesitantly walked forward, held my breath, closed my eyes, tightly clenching Devin's hand in my own. Part of me expected that walking through this thing would be like walking through lava, that it would burn, that it would swallow me and force me to sink into a deep, agonizing pain. Instead, it was just a bright, overwhelming light, accompanied by the feeling of my breath being taken out of my chest. But it wasn't suffocating. It was like I didn't feel like I needed to breathe at all. It just felt like something was being gently pulled from me. And then all white faded into darkness. My eyesight flickered for a few moments as I stirred awake, my consciousness clawing itself back to the forefront of my mind. My first instinct was to sit up, rub the back of my head, and get my bearings. After a few blinks, things started to become clear. I could see that I was sitting in some kind of lounge. My memories slowly seeped back to me as I recalled everything that occurred only a few minutes ago. And looking around, I could tell that the other participants either relaxing or they're just waking up like me. Hey, Clyde, you finally awake. Didn't take long for Devin to catch my attention as she walked towards me and sat down. How are you feeling, bud? We just walked through a door of literal light. I guess I feel fine, just, confused. Light doors will do that to you, I'm told. You're still able to keep that wise, cracking mouth of yours despite everything, huh? Well, we're alive, I think so. I figure there's no reason not to keep cracking jokes. Yeah, we might be alive, but where the hell are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out. The red-headed woman interjected as she walked towards us with a sheepish woman in tow. You don't understand any of this nonsense either, do you? I can't say I do. Right, doors of light just don't render you unconscious or transport you to weird places. Doors of light also don't appear out of nowhere. Don't get smart with me, it's unusual and I don't like it. I know it's weird, but it doesn't seem to be all that bad. The sheepish woman finally spoke up as she nervously glanced between the red-haired woman and me. Some of the others here don't seem all that worried, so it's probably fine. I know you mean well, but the fact that they aren't panicking doesn't mean that we're in the ideal situation. We could have been drugged and carted off to some remote facility for who knows what. Drug us, all 16 of us, without anyone noticing or putting up a fight? They had plenty of opportunities. They could have done it in the trucks or on the drive here. I don't know, it sounds like you're just trying to explain the unexplainable. Maybe some divine being really did just teleport us here. Spare me this spiritual hippie bull crap. I entertained it because I thought we'd get something out of it, not get sent to wherever the hell this is. I mean, look around. Do you see any exits here? This place is so weird, and most of the others are acting like it's perfectly normal. If anything, I find it more suspicious that more people aren't freaking out, or at least questioning what's going on right now. She's got a point. Some of the people here seem too lax about all this. That's probably because they know what's going on, right? I mean, some of the people here clearly know what this place is. Can you shut up, lady? The crass young man shouted from across the room. You're so damn loud that we're gonna miss the announcement. What did you just say, you little punk? I said you're loud and you need to shut your trap. Can't even hear myself think. We're here in the Clover Lounge and all you're doing is yakking about how this doesn't make sense. The woman's eyes narrowed as she strode up to the young man. Ah, don't. He's just a kid. I'm 20 years old. I'm not a kid. He's old enough that he should know when to speak and when to keep his mouth shut. Don't waste your breath. You'll get the answers you want soon anyways. And you don't want to make an enemy of me right now if you can help it. Punk ass kid. You better be telling the truth. He is. While his tone could certainly use some work, he's certainly not saying anything false. For the moment it seemed like the woman also placated enough to keep herself from socking the kid in his mouth. I've been hoping that we'd get a moment of rest and cool off, but as soon as she stepped back, a voice called out to us. Seemed like fate had other plans. And that's where we'll stop, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.